All right, so we shall begin, and if anyone else wants to join us, they can do. So thank you everyone for coming. Good to see regular faces as always, and newcomers, welcome too. So we have a very, very simple format to these calls every month. It is basically any announcements from me, followed by any questions, and any kind of subjects we want to chat about or talk about. So anything on health, spirituality, what's going on for you at the moment, that kind of thing. And then we go on to the healing section. So that's about, it's usually 20 minutes or so. We'll see today. We might get a bit longer in today, as there's not many people on the course, so there may not be that many questions. And we'll do some QT healing. But all you lovely people who have joined today, I'm trying two new techniques, or two new things, should I say, that I've never done before on this call. So new and exciting high vibration stuff just for you for coming on the call today. See if you notice it and see if you notice the difference in vibration. I have been trying this Sanskrit mantra, and for personal enjoyment, and it's really, really powerful, and I'm slightly in love with it. If you can be in love with a mantra, because it's so amazingly, instantaneously powerful. So I'll be using that today in the healing. And I also, Alice knows this, I have a crystal. It's a Lemurian crystal, and I totally forgot I had it, and it is for healing. And I don't know why I forgot I had it, but some of us have been noticing that the crystals have been calling to us recently. And Alice mentioned something to me, and I thought, my goodness, I think I've got a crystal somewhere. Then it seems to be calling, and so this is it. It's a very powerful one for healing. It really augments the healing. So I'm going to be using different tuning forks today. One for healing, and one for physical healing, and one for solving difficult situations. I thought there was that one. This is the tuning fork that was calling to me. So we're going to use that and the crystal today. So something new and exciting to add into the healing at the end today. So not really many announcements from me today, but just to say that actually, not a lot of people. Oh, there's Carrie. You managed to get off your other Zoom call. So, not many announcements for me today, but just to say again, I'm going to start saying this at the beginning of every call. Please make sure I'm on your safety list or your contact list for emails. There's something very weird that's going on with my business email, my work email. So the info@sharonlawson.co.uk. So even if you had emails from me before, some emails are not getting through. I'm trying very hard to figure out why that's happening, but I don't know why. So just make sure I'm in your contacts so you don't miss any correspondence from me, please. Other thing to say is that, so I've got two things really, two extra things to say. One is that someone actually submitted some questions for today's call, and they were so good and they were so important, and they were all on the same theme. And I just didn't feel like we would have enough time to actually go through that, the answers fully, and as fully as I would like to. So I've actually recorded a video. It's currently trying to upload. It's taking forever to upload onto YouTube, but it will be available tomorrow. And it's on the subject of prayer. And I thought it was a really interesting set of questions. I'm just going to read them so you know what the questions are. So if it's of interest, you can watch the video tomorrow. So it was, why would one pray? Is praying futile because we have free will, or does praying help? And is prayer energy stroke, is it special energy? So they were all around the subject of praying, and I've I knew it would be quite a detailed response. And it actually ends up 40 minutes. So only for the people who are interested and want to watch a 40-minute video. But it is actually a very important topic of conversation, because I go through how our relationship to the universe and relationship to prayer changes through the levels of consciousness. And so it's quite it is a very detailed response. But I think it's a really important topic, and it wasn't something I had thought to cover in a special video, but when Dee asked those questions, I actually thought, wow, this is actually a really a nice topic to talk about. So if you're interested, there will be a YouTube video up there shortly. And lastly, the last thing for me to say is that another question that's come in quite a lot. So I've done a little video on the Quantum Touch newsletter that's going to be out this short. You probably get the newsletter today. But it's just a subject that comes up quite often. And I think it's just worth mentioning here, just for clarity, because I get asked this quite a lot. And that is, people often ask me, how do I raise my vibration? And I cover this on the 8-week course that we're going to be doing starting 21st of June, because I think it's the first step in the 7 steps to personal power. And the reason it's the first step is that I think that most people don't quite understand the point of having a high vibration. So raising your vibration is really easy to do it temporarily. You can raise your vibration, you do it all the time, temporarily, all the time, unconsciously, just when you're happy, right? Or just when you're enjoying yourself, or just when you're laughing, or just when you're listening to music. To raise your vibration is actually very simple. The key thing is to raise it like consistently and maintain it. So you're maintaining a high vibration. So people say, oh, can I have a session and you raise my vibration? Even though I can raise my vibration, it's like, yeah, that's temporary. I can do that. I can do that easy, right? I raise my vibration, you come with me in quantum touch, our vibration matches, and you've got a high vibration. But what happens after that session? What happens 3 days after, when the energy tails off? Then then you have to consider, how am I going to maintain that vibration? So I just wanted to mention that, because I think people don't quite get the fact that vibration, and when we talk about high vibration, we're actually talking about a level of consciousness. We're trying to retain, in spiritual terms, not go up, come down, go up, come down, go up, come down, but actually maintain a level of consciousness of that high vibration, which is the harder thing, right? Why is it harder? Well, it's easy to raise your vibration when you're happy and you're doing nice things and everything's going swimmingly, but it's not so easy when things are a bit tricky, when people are being mean, when things aren't going your way. That's when having a high vibration comes into its element, right? And it's not just about being happy, it's about these high vibrational states are your most powerful states that you have as a human being. That's where you create, that's where you manifest from. That's where you get the outcomes that you're creating with the universe. So I just thought it was worth mentioning this, because I think some people feel like, oh, if I raise my vibration, I can do something good. And then what happens to your vibration? Right? So it's a bit of a commitment. So I just wanted to mention that, because it's a level of consciousness that we're trying to maintain, rather than just like temporarily achieve. Does that make sense? Okay. So Tanya, did you have a question? You're saying, what is it called? What is what called? Sorry. Have you got a question? Oh, the frequency healing. Can you say more? Sorry. Sorry, can you say a bit more? Oh, sorry. Okay. So today I'm doing 2 extra things with Quantum Touch. So Quantum Touch is the basic healing methodology. Then I have a crystal here, which is a Lemurian crystal. And then the 2 frequencies that I've got that I don't normally use are going to be 528, which is generally used for physical healing, but it's kind of you know, when you buy tuning forks, they say this is for miracles and DNA repair. and I'm going to use 741, which is for, you know, again, just in very basic terms, solving difficult problems. But I normally use my very special one, which is the one I had personally made for my work. And that doesn't have a that doesn't have a meaning. It's just I had it specially made because I was given that frequency by the universe for the work that I do. So it's not specific, but it's in the higher numbers vibration. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so give me 1 second. Okay. So, does anyone have any questions about anything to do with healing or health or spirituality or anything that's coming up as a theme for you at the moment?
So, Sharon, along with kind of maintaining a high vibration, what I've been looking at lately is because of my past and whatever, I've learned to be small energetically. And what I'm looking at is trying to be my true self energetically, which is, you know, happy and big and beautiful and way bigger than what I seem to be able to hold consistently. So is that along the same lines as what you're talking about in holding of high vibration?
Yeah, so when we say about sort of being aligned to our true nature or living from our true nature, and that is big energy, right? That is powerful energy. We are really saying we're going to live from love, peace, and joy, which is our essence states, right?
Right.
And you know, when we're in those states, we're really quite powerful. We have usually quite good access to divine wisdom, guidance, all that kind of nice stuff, right? And so part of that is keeping your vibration high. So what are the high vibrations? Well, the 3 highest are love, peace, and joy, right? But in terms of being, so when you're in that, you've got quite a powerful energy field, right? You're more essence and less mind.
Right.
Right? So, because the lower, what we tend to call as lower vibrations are really mind states, right? They're fear, their anger, they're the emotions that the mind kind of tangles us up in and makes us feel powerless and we can't really sort of move forward with. So when we're talking about sort of where has our energy been, where have we been subdued and where has our energy been sort of confined or limited? The culprit is always the same, right? The culprit is always it's our minds that limit us, right? It's our minds that say we can't go too big. And there'll be a reason why we can't go too big. It won't be safe over there. It won't be safe if your energy is big and wide and beautiful and magnetic, right? Because the mind doesn't understand true power, because the true power is an essence state. So what happens is that the mind says, no, it's not safe for you to be a big, beautiful, energetic field of love, peace, and joy. You'll stand out. People will see. No, we must stay small and covered up. It's much safer because the mind is trying to protect you, and that's its job, right? And it doesn't understand. But love, peace, and joy are our most powerful states. We're actually really powerful. That's where we become more actually more invincible, because those are our most powerful states. And the mind doesn't really get much of a look in. So it tries to keep us in that place where it's got a lot more, what it considers, it's not real power, but it considers to be more powerful if it can hold you down, right? But everything that it's saying to you to keep you small is a lie. So you can let it go.
Easier said. Because again, I guess if I'm working energetically, I don't know if I've made a difference. I don't know if I don't know if I'm hiding or not. I don't, right, like, like as I ask to become this bigger presence, and I see I can connect with all things in the world and in the universe and all the molecules, and you just get bigger and bigger and ripple out. Then what? Like, does it stay there or does it shrink back? Or like I don't really have a way of gauging, I guess. That's a mind thing again.
I missed that a little bit.
So is it just a choice?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Is it just a choice? Like, is it like a muscle where you keep trying and you build it? Or is it, you know, you just say, one day I'm going to do this, and how do you tell if you're maintaining it or not? If you're in love and joy and peace, is that all?
Is that all?
No, I mean, like,
it takes hard work.
I can be in love and joy and peace and not feel very powerful, I guess.
Yes. Okay.
Still feel my very small self.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm stating it right. Like, so sometimes where I'm getting this kind of experience, and then I feel kind of powerful because I'm connected.
Okay, so I lost you a little bit there, but I think you're saying that when you feel connected, you feel more powerful. Is that right?
I feel more powerful. I can feel like I'm, you know, connecting with the trees and the dolphins. And every time I feel like I'm connected, that becomes bigger.
Yeah.
I become bigger. And, but I can feel very peaceful if I'm just lying on the grass, looking at the clouds, not thinking of anything at all.
Yeah.
And not feeling that powerful feeling, I guess.
Okay. This is really good.
It's hard to talk about. I don't know how to explain it.
So this is the difficulty, and this is why I'm doing this course, right? So this feeds into why I'm doing this course, right? Perfectly, is that we don't really know what power feels like, because none of us have really experienced true power very often, right? So what happens is the mind says, this is what power should feel like, right?
Yes.
We have these ideas that we've picked up of what power should feel like. As soon as there's a should, obviously it's a mind state. And this is where we think that in order to feel powerful, we must feel something, and you use the words as well, bigger, something, power should feel bigger, right? But these are the subtler realms. It doesn't feel what we imagine it's going to feel. What it actually feels like is love, peace, and joy. You're saying, is it just love, peace, and joy? Yeah, it's just love, peace, and joy. That's all it is, right? But we've been told by society that love doesn't make you powerful. It makes you kind of weak and vulnerable, and it's, you know, can be abused and all these things. And love can't be abused in its actual form. It really can't be. Love makes you more powerful. Peace makes you more powerful. If you commit to stay in a sense of peace, no matter what you see, no matter what you hear, no matter what somebody does, no matter if your house is falling in and you lose all your possessions, you know, no matter what happens, if you are in love, peace, and joy, you are in power. right? Because you are in control of your experience, how you are interpreting your experience. So the power is not in, you know, hey, I feel this big and I'm like,
I'm in control of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm this planet wide and everything else. Although when you ripple out and you connect to all living creatures and all consciousness, that has an expansiveness for sure. And when you connect into the matrix of life, that has an expansiveness for sure. When you feel oneness, if you ever feel oneness with things, or you feel blissful, that blissful, you feel untouchable in it. Yeah, you know, if it goes away, you're like, oh, come back, bliss. It's so lovely, right?
Exactly.
Right. And these are the things that actually are the things that nobody can take from you. They're yours. They're your experience, right? They're untakeoutable. So the practice of keeping your vibration high, the practice of going big, how do you know how do you feel? How good do you feel? Do you feel love? Do you feel peace? Do you feel joy? Or do you look out into the world and you're feeling anger, frustration, you want to change everything, and you know, someone says something on the news and you get upset, or you go into fear? These are other things that are changing your experience with your permission, right? But when you want to go, but when you also are saying, well, okay, well, I want to be a bigger presence in the world, your energy dictates that presence, not your mind. Your vibration dictates that. So your presence is really just a personal thing, right? That's where the self-worth comes in. That's where all the self-love comes in. This is actually, that radiates out. That has a vibrational frequency. That's what radiates out. And then committing to keeping that means that, and I assume as well, like, well, usually when we're talking about playing small or playing big or whatever, we often talk about it in relation to our work or a profession or something like that. But like on any level, what we're actually saying is, I'm no longer afraid to be seen. I'm no longer, I'm okay to be seen. Well, before we might have been afraid to be seen because it feels unsafe. But when we recognize the power in love, peace, and joy, we stop caring what other people think of us, what they're going to say, what they're going to do. Who cares? Some rando on the internet says something mean about you. Who cares? They don't know anything. They're just a random person, right? So that kind of thing. So we kind of go, well, I'm just going to do my thing. All you have to care about is your vibration, your alignment. You do your thing. That's it. And do you feel good in all of that? You should do. You would do. That's all it is. It's not actually anything more astonishing than that. All it means is that we lose the fear, right? We're in love, peace, and joy. Fear's right at the bottom of consciousness. We're at the top. We commit to stay there. We're not going to let anything drop our vibration. So that means that we can play big. We can do anything we want. We're unrestricted. We're unlimited. And then that energy is quite magnetic and it's quite attractive. And then we put intention into that energy field with all that love, peace, and joy, our most powerful creative state, and things start to change. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Cool. I mean, what I was going to say, I might as well add this as well. And that is, so when I was ill and then I got better, I was still in the freeze mechanism, even though I was recovered from my illness. And the freeze mechanism is quite a tricky survival technique. It's the oldest survival mechanism we have. And that freeze mechanism is a fear mechanism. It perceives danger on the level that makes us freeze, right? So rather than flee or rather than fight, we freeze. And so sometimes the playing small is so strongly attached to this idea of I won't be safe. But that's the challenge, is to come out of the incorrect survival mechanism, the old, like it's the oldest lizard part of our brain, it's the limbic system, and saying, no, mind, stop protecting me, it's safe out there. The world is a lovely place. I believe that the world is a lovely place. I believe I am safe out there. I can do the work that I want to do. It will be received and acknowledged. And it's about coming out of that fear pattern that's stuck, that keeps you in freeze. So it is a survival mechanism. And so sometimes it holds on very tightly, and you can't really come out of that fear mechanism, because it's very strong sometimes, without the love, without the self-love, without the peace, without the joy, because that is infinitely more powerful than the brain in that sense.
Makes sense.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I think there's a question in the chat box. So Tanya's asked, okay, how to differentiate. Okay, so how to differentiate between love and true love as the highest frequency. Okay, so very simply put, we tend to focus on different kinds of love in the human form. So we differentiate between family love and relationship love and friendship love, and they're relationship loves, right? Or even pet love, right? They're relationship loves, right? With others on the planet, right? But when we're talking about love at the highest frequency level, it's actually kind of a non-specific love. It's universal love. It is unconditional. So you say, well, I unconditionally love my partner, for example. So that is unconditional, and it is unconditional love. But you are only unconditionally loving one human being on the earth, right? Everyone else can go to hell, right? So it is love, but it still has a condition on it, that your love is only unconditional to one person, right? So when we talk about love as the highest frequency, we're not really we're trying to, and this is the difficulty, we're trying to talk about love almost in an impersonal way. It's not about what someone does for you. It's not about what somebody gives you. It's not a debt that somebody has done something really good and you're trading, like, oh, I've done something good for you, you've done something nice for me, or you've shown up to this, so now I love you, but if you didn't show up, I don't love you. You know, it's not a trade-off. Love without condition means that we're not really judging in that love. So in love, there's no real place for judgment, which is why I'm always banging on about acceptance and non-judgment, because they are kind of key to unconditional love. Now, we may not love everybody deeply, unconditionally in the whole of the world, right? But we can decide to not judge everybody, and that's the stepping stone. We can try not to judge people. We can try to accept people as they are, where they are. We can lovingly accept that we're all in this world together. so love is really, that's why it's so powerful. Unconditional love is so powerful because it's our essence state. It's what we all come out of. From the universe. The universe is lovingly unconditional. You know, it didn't create any human being and then think, oh, I've made a terrible error. Everyone is in it out of love. We're all given a shot. And it's a loving universe, right? So we're really tapping into universal energy, universal love energy, which doesn't really say, well, you've done this, so you don't get to be healthy, or you've done that, so you don't get to have a promotion. It has no judgment in it. Love doesn't have any judgment in it. So how do you differentiate between them? Well, you look for the judgment. It's quite simple. You just look for the judgment, you know. And if I may be so bold as to say, humans are not good at unconditional love. We haven't mastered it in any shape or form. We are we're infants in this. So that's why we have to practice. We have to practice the not judging. We have to practice the acceptance. And people often think that when you stop judging people and you accept everything, you become a mat, a doormat for everyone to walk over. And it's not in the slightest, because love is powerful. It doesn't mean you take crap from everybody. It just means that you don't judge and act on that judgment towards other people. That's all it is. So people often get confused because we're sold this idea of what love is, and it's relationship love, and usually it's conditional, and we're sold it in books and films and everything since the dawn of humanity. And it's not really what in spiritual terms we would call love. It's a version of it, and it can be a gateway, but it's not necessarily the thing that we're trying to maintain. We're not, when we talk about love, we're not trying to maintain a relationship, except for with ourselves and the divine. And we don't even have a need to have a relationship with the divine, because we are it. So you can take that relationship out at the final stage too. So does that answer your question there? If you want to just put in chat if that answers that. Okay, and then there's another question. Cool, thumbs up. An issue with structure and discipline. Okay, so there's a question here, and then we'll go on to the healing side of things about structure and discipline when working on the spiritual side, sort of how to put in some structure and discipline. And I can answer this quite in quite a quick way, and that is, you will never really put in structure and be disciplined with anything, including the spiritual side, unless you kind of know what the benefit is to you, right? As human beings, right? We don't like to be forced into anything. We don't like to be told something is good for us, right? We've been told all the time what's good for us. Now, none of us do it, right? I didn't do any exercise this morning. I know it's good for me. I really wanted to do it. Still didn't do it, right? Being told something's good for you is not going to get you to do it, right? So if you want to put some structure in for anything, including spiritual discipline, is you have to commit to it. You have to kind of know why you're doing it. The why. Why am I doing this? What benefit am I going to get in its most simplest form? And you have to kind of want to just commit to what it is that you want to be in this life. You know, I say it quite often, like, you know, the spiritual path takes commitment. And the reason it takes commitment is you forget. You forget, like something challenging happens and you go into an old pattern and you don't really remember you've got all these tools and everything. So, you know, we kind of have the structure that I recommend is just the remembrance that you have these tools and that you can go to it. And, you know, if you want to put in a discipline, like a spiritual discipline for the morning, you know, you kind of have to try and make it a bit easy for yourself. So that it's not too hard. Or, you know, if you're struggling with, say, a 30-minute meditation practice, don't start with 30 minutes. Just sometimes commit to 1 minute. If you're busy, don't do 30, do 1, don't do less. But then at least it shows that you've done a commitment for that day. So you've done a commitment. So like when I have a hot cold shower, some days I really don't want it really cold. And I'm like, even if I don't turn the dial so far, I still commit to cold, but just not freezing because I can't face it. So rather than not do it at all, I just do less, right? Because I know that if I don't do it at all, my mind will go, oh, you're not that committed to it, so we won't bother doing it tomorrow. And so to make sure my mind is trained into the recognition that I still want to do it, but I'm struggling today, I'll do it, but I'll do a little bit less. And I find that that really works, is to not put pressure on yourself to be perfect in your structure and discipline. You know, some days I wake up at 7, I do exercise, I do my morning meditation, I start work, I do the most important thing I have to do on that day first, and I knock it out the ballpark. But does it happen every day? No, it does not. And the key to all spiritual work is to not beat yourself up about it. Why? Because if you beat yourself up, where's the love? Where's the peace? Where's the joy? Oh, it's gone. No, it's nowhere to be seen. So create a schedule if you want to, but just allow yourself some slack. Give yourself the ability to be flexible with it, and then you're more likely to kind of stick with it. And just know what the benefits are, right? Like, I meditate every morning because I absolutely love it. I feel great from it. Even when I'm not really meditating very well and I'm just thinking, but I still am so chilled out, and I've got a physical feeling of bliss, even if my mind was thinking of stuff. It's still worth it. It's always worth it, no matter how good or bad my meditation is. It always has a benefit, so I keep doing it. Okay, if there's no more questions, I'll go on to the healing side of things. Does anyone have anything they want to ask? Last quick question. Anybody? No? Okay, all right. So we'll go on to the healing. So, as always, I will set an intention for the group. And you too shall set an intention for what you wish from the healing energy. So always set in the present tense, and nothing in the future tense. If we set an intention in the future tense, we don't get what we want. We get the wanting and the future. It gets pushed out into the future. So we always say what we want in the present tense, and we positively state what we want. So if we're in pain, we don't say, say we've got a painful knee, we don't say, I want the pain to go away. The word want also gives you the state of wanting, not actually the pain to be healed. So instead of saying something like that, you might say, my knee is healed and pain-free. So that's how we set an intention. So you will set an intention for yourself. It doesn't have to be physical, can be anything you wish. I will do majority quantum touch, but like I said at the beginning, I'll be adding in some other things to the healing today. I'll have my tuning forks, the crystal, and I'm using a new Sanskrit mantra. But also, I may well do, and for those who are regular will know that I often do some vocal sound healing. So I'll be potentially doing that too. I don't know until I start, but usually I do. If you're sensitive to sound, I usually do the sound healing quite loud, so I usually let you know before. So if you want to reduce the volume or anything, you can do. It's in the vibration anyway, so not to worry if you don't hear it loudly. It's still, the vibration is still there in the energy. Okay, I think that is it. So I will have my eyes closed. I think for the majority of it, my eyes will open a few times just while I'm focusing on everybody to make sure everyone gets what they need from the healing. And I usually forget to say this recently, but drink water afterwards. It's not a very long healing session, but it is still a healing session. So remember to drink water and hydrate. Okay. So we'll be just going, so I should just say, we'll be going to, it's 1:45 now, we'll go to 20 minutes, so just after 9 we will finish. We'll just have a little chat. If everyone wants to share anything about what they experience, they can do, and then we'll finish sort of around 10 past. Okay. Just going to finish with some sound healing. Okay, so that is the end of the healing. So whenever you're ready, come back in your own time. Okay. Many of you don't have your videos on, so I can't tell if you're back in the room, but that is the end of the healing. But I just wanted to add, something did come up in the healing, so I think it's worth mentioning. And it kind of relates to some of the questions earlier. So I thought it's worth mentioning. And that is, I was reminded to mention that often the limitations that we put or we have on ourselves, let's just say we put them, but we have on ourselves, is because somehow we feel like we're waiting for permission from somebody else to go big or to heal or to be worthy, or to be able to receive something that we dearly wish with our hearts. And so what I heard in the healing was remind people to just say to themselves, I give myself permission to heal. I give myself permission to be successful. I give myself permission to go big. You know, often we're outward facing and we've been taught that we need someone else's approval, and we don't. We just need our own. So that's, I give myself permission to whatever. And then just state, I am whatever you wish to be. I am successful, I am healed, I am whatever. Because I am are two very powerful words. So just wanted to offer that because it came up very clearly in the healing. But yeah, if anybody feels like they want to share, I know healing is very personal and sometimes people don't want to share, but if anyone wants to share, would like what they experience witness, then please do. Okay, all right, well then that's us done for another month. I know that many of you are joining me for the 8-week course, so I look forward to seeing you then. So I will see you all on the 21st of June for our first class. You will be getting emails from me. There'll be a reminder each week that the class is starting for those of you who are like me and have a terrible relationship with time. And you will also be getting some like workbooks, little tip sheets to have to accompany each week as well. So you'll be getting that separately from me too. But yes, otherwise, hopefully I will see you next month too. We're getting through the year pretty fast. It's going to be July. Ooh, where does the time go? So those of you, I will see you for the course. Those of you who haven't signed up yet, if you wish to, it's 8 weeks starting 21st of June. The 7 steps to personal power. There is still the early bird price available until this Sunday, after which it goes up to standard price. So if you do want to join us, please do take advantage of the early bird price. But otherwise, I will see you next month, everyone. And have a good day, have a good evening, depending where you are. I know some of you are in the States and stuff, so it's morning for you, so have a good day.
Thank you, good evening, bye.
Bye everyone. Bye.